Hi. So, in this video, I'm just gonna be talking about tarot because I really love tarot. I mean, it's my main divination tool. I wanted to talk about the basics, of course. Just give an overview of what tarot is, how to use it. I'm mostly gonna be talking from my own experience because I'm not a super experienced reader. I guess still a beginner. It's only been, I guess, 2 years since I've started reading, about 2 years. So I'm still learning. I'm still figuring it out every day. But I've definitely improved, and this is just something I wish I could have had when I started reading tarot because it was confusing, a little bit difficult to start on my own, which is why it took me so long to actually start. I'm pretty sure I got my first deck of tarot cards in 2019, but I only started reading in 2020, and then it was about mid 2020 when I was actually studying, doing it every day, practicing and reading for myself and others, mostly my family, because it's kind of nerve-wracking to read for other people. But I have read for my friends and they say it's good, so it boosts your confidence if you read for other people other than, your family, who are obviously just going to tell you what you want to hear. So I'm going to pull out some tarot cards. I have a lot of tarot cards, but that's, So first, I want to talk about what are tarot cards. Basically, tarot cards are divinatory tools. There are two parts of the deck. There are the major arcana and the minor arcana. There's 78 cards in the deck. There are 22 cards that are in the major arcana, 56 cards that are in the minor arcana. The major arcana is usually for very big, important, sort of spiritual journey moments in your life. So if you get it, there's meanings to pretty much every aspect of the tarot. So if you get more major arcana cards, which are the ones that most people know of that have specific names, like the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Emperor, the Empress, etc., the Devil, the Death card, the Tower card, those are the famous scary cards, but I don't find them that scary. When you know actually about tarot, the cards don't scare you anymore. It's okay. So when you see more major arcana cards in your deck, it could mean different things to different people, obviously. It all depends on how you read the card, but personally to me, it means that there's big life, either decisions, changes, or events happening in my life, or certain events that are coming in my life are going to be important towards my spiritual journey. So the minor arcana includes its cups, swords, wands, and pentacles. Learning the symbolic meanings of each of them is pretty important to reading tarot. The swords is usually associated with air signs in astrology, and cups is water signs, wands is fire signs, and pentacles is earth signs. And so the swords have to do with the mind and intellect, the cups have to do with emotions, wands have to do with passion and energy, and the pentacles have to do with grounding and stuff that is more earthly, basically, like money. And that's pretty much the basics of what you need to start, and then you can use the guidebook to help you sort of figure out what meanings you want to assign to the cards, because also you base your meanings off of the official meanings from the guidebooks and the official original tarot deck, but you also use your intuition, and you also, let's say you look at the pictures and you base your meaning off of what's happening in the picture, of course based on the kind of reading you're doing. So it all depends on the kind of reading you're doing. So one card could mean something, this could mean something for a money reading, but it could also mean something for a love reading. Completely different things, but once you get the basic meanings behind the cards, and you learn about also numerology could work in these cases, because they go from the ace, the 2, the 3 of whatever suit you're on. I mostly use it to read energy, to get messages from either your higher self or what is it called? The people who watch over you. Oh my god, I forgot what it's called. Hold on. Spirit guides. spirit guides. You get messages from your spirit guides, and I guess you can ask questions about the future, but the important part to realize, which I think a lot of people who don't really know about tarot think that tarot are just like meant to tell the future, which they can give you some insight into the future, but the future changes depending on your energy, what you decide. It's not set in stone, so the meanings change depending on how you change. So today you can do a reading about how you'll be in a year, but then in a few months it could be a completely different reading because you've changed, you've learned, you've been through things, you've probably healed. The cards tell meanings, like energy readings in the future, from the point that you are reading it or being read by them. So it's not set in stone. If you see something that you don't like, it can change. You don't have to worry about that. But yeah, there are different kinds of artist renditions for every tarot deck. There's so many tarot decks out there that, I mean, it's really fun to just find the one that works best for you. For me, my favorite one is the Everyday Tarot deck. It's little, it's mini. I really like it because it's very easy to shuffle. Sometimes the cards are too big for my hands to shuffle easily, and it's portable. This is the deck that pretty much taught me how to read tarot. I started out with a different deck because, I don't know, something told me to buy it. The creator of this has a website that has very great resources for reading tarot, so I'll link that down below. So, how to read tarot. There's a lot of people that feel like you have to have specific like psychic powers or to be gifted in reading tarot or divination or whatever, but you don't. Anyone can read the tarot. It just depends on if you want to. If you're called to read tarot, then great, let's go ahead. Anyone can use tarot cards, and you do not have to be gifted tarot cards. A lot of people say that your tarot cards don't work, you bought them yourself. That's not true. You can buy the tarot cards. Go ahead, go to the metaphysical shop and buy it for yourself. It's not that big of a deal. And these, I'm pretty sure I bought these for myself, and they work the best for me. They're super accurate, and I love them. So don't worry about that, and don't worry about needing like powers or whatever to be able to read them. Practice and dedication do way more than talent. You, in any aspect of life, that's my motto. Dedicating your time and energy to something will mean more than inherent talent. And okay, you can read tarot by using your intuition, reading the little guidebooks that come with them. Every single tarot deck has a little guidebook that comes with it, so you don't have to worry about like studying before you buy them. You can buy a tarot deck that calls to you, and you'll be able to read the tarot by referring to this guidebook. It'll be able to show you like, see, the major arcana, minor arcana, and then different things. Like, they give some kind of examples for spreads you can try, or just like how, sometimes they just tell you like how to read it at the beginning. This one doesn't because it's very small, but there are other decks that I have that do that. And a lot of people read also from their memory. They memorize the meanings of each of the cards, and then that's how they read it. So usually the first step that you have to take when reading tarot cards is to ground yourself. That could mean like meditating, like actually sitting down, closing your eyes and meditating, or you can be listening to meditation music. You can focus on your breathing for a few minutes, or you can do an activity that's like active meditation, which is like going for a walk, spending time in nature, drawing. There's a lot of ways to actively meditate, like cooking as well. And my battery's dying again. I'm back. Okay, so I started reading tarot just randomly. I had started getting into spirituality with crystals and watching tarot readings instead of doing them myself. It took me a long time to start doing it myself, and how I read it now is I don't really meditate, but I do ground myself. I just get into the energy of being able to receive messages. I can't really describe it, but it's like I'm in meditation. It's that kind of feeling. It's literally like I don't know, it's a tactile feeling that I can't really describe that happens when I read tarot, but I'm kind of able to connect pretty easily when I do it. And I use all three: my intuition, memory, and the guidebooks. I still reference the guidebooks, which shows kind of how much of a novice I am. But also, it doesn't matter how long or how short you've been reading, you can use the guidebook. It's okay. You don't have to remember everything. You don't have to use your intuition for everything. Sometimes it's important to read the official meanings of the cards, and it's very helpful, and it could help you have a more accurate reading, which is very important. And I also use oracle cards when I read, just to get some more clarification. Sometimes it's not that easy to get the full meaning for me from tarot cards, so I use oracle cards to help me gauge the entire meaning of the reading. So this one is the Prism Oracle, which deals with like colors and emotions. It's really, really cool. I love this one. I use it like every day. I feel like oracle cards are a great place to start when you want to read tarot, because the meanings are a little bit easier to understand for some decks, like especially this Prism Oracle. I really suggest this one, and any sort of oracle deck is very useful. And those, you don't remember the meanings often. I mean, you can if you use it very often, like this one. I use this one often so I can remember it. But for a lot of other oracles, it's long-winded messages, so you don't have to memorize those. So that could be a great starting point for people who want to get into tarot and just reading cards. Oracle cards are different from tarot because tarot is like an official thing, an official card deck. I have here the Rider-Waite Tarot, which is usually the most known version of the tarot, but this is a mini one. I like the mini. And this is like the most basic kind of tarot deck you're gonna find. The tarot cards are usually all based on this kind of tarot, but oracle cards can just be their own separate thing. They don't have to be anywhere near the tarot cards. The meanings and the suits, the major arcana, minor arcana, that doesn't have anything to do with oracle cards. Like this one that I love, the Prism Oracle Guidebook, has emotions and colors. So it has this one, it says faith, this one, consciousness. See, these don't have anything to do with like the major or minor arcana. They're just its own thing, and usually they deal more with like advice than tarot, which is like reading energy and maybe the future. You can do that with tarot oracle cards, but in my experience it's more like advice. There are also other forms of divination that you can try. If you don't resonate with tarot, you can always try other divination techniques. There's so many. There's reading tea leaves. There's one like you throw the bones and throw runes, and you can use pendulums with like yes or no. And what else? Just channeling from source, spirit guides, whatever. There's also astrology that you can do. There's also dowsing, like dowsing rods. You can ask spirits yes or no questions. There's scrying, which you take like a black mirror or black crystal and you just see what you see in them. Especially, I think in dark rooms you're supposed to do that. I've never tried it, but yeah, you see things it's like crystal ball reading, but real. And there's probably so much more that I don't know. There are so many different cultures around the world that have divination methods. Your culture probably has their own. Make sure you're not using a divinatory practice from a closed practice, of course, but there are so many different options that I'm sure you don't have to resort to that. But yeah, I mean, this is extremely basic information. What I was not told when I started reading was that you basically use your intuition to read the cards. I always thought that there was like one specific right way to read cards, and that's why I was so afraid to read for other people, because I thought that I would just be like getting the messages wrong, I guess. But now that I've been reading for longer, I know that it doesn't really work that way. I mean, you can sort of get messages wrong, but if you are learning about it, using the guidebooks, using your intuition as well, reading it wrong, I'm talking about like the TikTok readers that they pull like the 10 of Swords and they say like, oh my god, he's coming back, he's in love with you. What? I mean, this is the Eight of Cups, which is not a good message for if you're looking for love. So if you see that, know that they are scamming you. That's the only way you could read them wrong. Any other way, you know the meanings of the cards and you're just using your intuition to connect them to the specific topic you're reading about, then you're all good. Everyone has their own unique signs and methods to read tarot. So you don't have to think like, what if I do it wrong? What if I'm wrong? As long as you're sticking to the general meanings of the cards, then you'll be fine. So don't worry about that. And also, there's no shame in reading oracle cards. Because, I mean, oracle cards are so fun. There's so many different kinds of oracle cards. I have a lot of oracle cards, but these are my favorite that I use daily. That's why I have them right here. But yeah, anyone can try tarot. You can buy it yourself. You don't have to wait for it to be gifted to you. And yeah, just keep trying. There's no shame in using the guidebook. I use the guidebook. It's fine. But yeah, my journey is still very early, so I'm still learning, I'm still practicing almost daily. I have to get back to practicing daily. I've definitely improved a lot over the years just by working on them at least once a week. I just have to get more confident in reading the messages of the cards and getting my intuition in check, and I just have to keep practicing. That's all there is. Practice will help me get better, and who knows, maybe I'll start reading tarot on this channel. I don't know, it's possible. I watch a lot of tarot readers, not a lot, well, I watch like one currently, no, two tarot readers currently, and that's all I need. But I know a lot of people don't know how to do it themselves or don't have the time or energy to do it themselves, and they would prefer to have someone else read for them. It's kind of hard to read for yourself, to be honest, because your emotions and your biases get in the way, so it kind of is better to get someone else to read for you. But I do want to mention, if you are watching those general readings, either on YouTube or TikTok, try to use your discernment, meaning not everything in the reading is going to be for you, and not every reading you come across is going to be for you. Obviously, you just use your intuition. If it feels wrong, if it doesn't feel like it's for you, then it's not for you, and you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say today for the tarot video. I'll probably make a more detailed one in the future, but leave questions if you have any in the comments. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.